Hey, good evening. Hey, this is my 240 gallon aquarium. It's 48 inches by 48 inches by 24 inches tall. It's been up and running for about 2 months now. The way I'm introducing the fish, I'm introducing the least aggressive to the most aggressive. So I'm on my second batch of fish. I'm waiting until next month to place an order for the next group of fish, which will be a couple of wrasses and some pyramid butterflies. So down below, I've got a Trigger System CR44 sump. I'm running a protein skimmer. I want to say it's an Aquamax Cone S. I believe it's 5. It's rated for 260 gallons. I may need to upgrade that in the future. I've got a UV sterilizer going. It's the black tube. And I'm running the pump for the UV sterilizer out of that skimmer chamber, and it exits in the return pump chamber. In the middle chamber, I've got my heater and the pump for my carbon GFO reactor. There's a better view of that. And I'm running a pair of Reef Octopus Varios pumps. I've got the Apex flow monitor on the UV sterilizer, and I've got the flow monitors on the return pumps. I'm moving about 1,100 gallons per hour according to the flow meters between the two pumps. I've got the return for the carbon GFO in that chamber between, I don't know what that chamber's called, but it lets out there. My ATO lets out there as well, and then the UV sterilizer lets out in the return pump chamber. So that's the skimmer. Take you around to a front view of the tank, and I am running. I just set up my Trident last week, so I've got a little over about 5 days worth of tests. I will be setting up my Apex dose here in the next week or two. I don't want to start dosing yet. As you can tell, I don't have any corals in the tank yet, but I will be adding corals probably in the next month or two, adding some small frags, and then I'll begin dosing. So this is the Apex board that I set up, and the power supplies, and then I've got the controller for the one controller for each of the various return pumps. And then I'll take you around the other side so you can see the tank and the. Now with my skimmer, I don't take the collection cup off and clean it or drain it. I do clean the collection cup weekly, but I let it drain into a Voss water bottle and empty that as needed. Now I've got my skimmer hooked up to a hose which leads outside of the house to draw in fresh air. This is when I close it, the CO2 in the room builds up, and so I'm just running a hose to the outside and then top off. And the lighting, I've got a pair of Reef Breeder Photon V2s, and they are mounted inside of the Aquatic Life T5 hybrids. I did have to get the wider mounting bracket in order to mount the Reef Breeders in there. And the way that I've got the whole assembly mounted, they're on stainless steel drawer sliders, and I used all stainless steel nuts and bolts and hardware to mount it. But I'm not a big fan of changing the bulbs out over the water. So what this lets me do is I can pull the light fixture out and change the bulbs as needed. And it comes out a full 24 inches, which is the width of the Aquatic Life T5 fixture, so I can even get the bulbs in the middle. Again, I can pull it all the way out without having to do the bulb changes over the water. So, and then it slides back in into position, and boom. And I need to figure out a system for mounting the wiring so that when I move the lights around, because right now they're just kind of hanging out up top, and what I'm thinking of doing is getting a spring that will hold the wire up, but the spring will stretch when I pull the light fixtures out, allowing the cable to, so that I'm not, hard pulling a fixed mounted cable. So once this quarantine for the ConV coronavirus or whatever, once that lets up and it's safer to go on little trips, I'll make a trip to the local hardware store and pick that up. I'm also running a pair of Max Spec gyres, and I've got them offset just a little bit because I wanted to be sure I had flow in the back of the tank as well as in the front. So far it's going great. Everything's working. No real issues. Again, this is a tank that's been up and running for about 2 months. I'm just thrilled with it. I'm as happy as can be. All right, enjoy. Take care of yourself. Stay healthy.